Okay, Streets of Rage 3 and Bare Knuckle 3 I'll be looking at. Sega Mega Drive 1994. There's the European box art, the American box art for the Genesis, and the Japanese box art for Bare Knuckle 3. And just showing the intro for Bare Knuckle 3 because the intro was completely removed from Streets of Rage 3. Just go straight to the title screen, but in Bare Knuckle 3 you have this nice Akira style intro. It's like, yeah, Neo Tokyo, it's about to explode.
Apocalyptic.
Yeah. Tetsuo!
No!
Kaneda! And got Axel ramboing up, getting ready to solve all the world's problems with his martial arts skills. And yeah, so and then here we go with Streets of Rage 3, and like I said, from the Sega logo, it just goes straight to the title screen. They completely removed the intro because the story got all changed around from what it was about in Bare Knuckle 3. And choose my character in a sec. Just get a look at all the characters for the main cast. We've got Axel, of course, the mainstay characters. A new character, Dr. Zan, Escape, returning
Zan
from
is what
Streets of
annoys
Rage 2,
Steve,
and Blaze
Pete.
is the other mainstay character.
Steve, go ahead.
Zan's what?
Zan's like, that sums it up for you, like why you sort of don't like Streets of Rage 2 and 3. Because it's like, what the hell happened there?
Zan. Yeah, I don't know what... The story went crazy, you know, that doesn't make any more sense, but the game's still
the
interesting.
reason why it doesn't make any sense is because they completely screwed it over from the Japan version, which does have a proper story.
Oh, does it?
But anyway, yeah. And
but
so
you
here I
can't
am
read it.
So here I am in
this
Streets
is
of Rage
important.
3. And I've got to apologise to Flanky because when I was doing my Streets of Rage retro corner, he said something about the girls' outfits, and you can see here that in Streets of Rage 3 these girls here have leggings and some sort of shirt over their midriff. And I thought he was talking about something to do with Vendetta at the time, so I shut him down. I was like, nah mate, that was something else. But I eventually realised what he was talking about. You can see here that in Bare Knuckle 3, yeah, the girls are showing a lot more flesh in the Japan version. Because, you know, Japanese are pretty open-minded about all that sort of stuff. And a similar sort of thing with the whip girls here in Streets of Rage 3. The whip girls kind of just look like cowgirls in heels or something, like pretty ordinary looking. But in good old Bare Knuckle 3, it's a
dominatrix shit.
Kind of like professional dominatrixes. It's almost like I'm enjoying letting them whip me.
Zooming in here, it's like,
and I want to pay them for the service. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. I like how you...
Because it's strange they censored that
some
one.
things that you can
so
see
much
a lot
and not the
better
others.
because you've zoomed in on it.
And here in back in Streets of Rage 3, this part of the game, the boat goes past. You can see Shiva driving the boat, and it just stops there, kind of thing. Once you beat up those dudes, but in Bare Knuckle 3, when the boat comes up, you see it's not Shiva driving the boat. It's a different character called Ash. And once I clear out the last load of enemies, you'll see that he's kind of like an extra boss that got removed from Streets of Rage 3 because again you can see he's a bit of a character, a bit of a, I suppose the politically correct term would be a gay stereotype character, but you know, to me he looks like a refugee from the village people. And there is a way to actually there's a little code you can do to use him yourself after you beat him, and it's quite funny the way he pirouettes and prances around.
Very powerful to use though later on when you actually use him, Pete. I noticed.
And this bit's quite funny here. When you beat him, he just cries like a girl on the ground there.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's good that you zoomed in on that, you know, because you probably wouldn't see that otherwise.
Now here I've got Ash under my control, and I've got up to Shiva, and you'll see like the funny thing about these extra unlockable characters is that they can't pick up weapons, but just watch how short work I make of Shiva. You have no hope of beating Shiva that quickly with a normal character, any of the like standard characters.
Nah.
That was so like ugly. Bitch slap from hell. Normally when you think of bitch slap,
takes
you think
a couple of
a
minutes
girl's
or something.
Move, yeah, for
normally.
him it's okay. Yeah, exactly. And I always thought this was a hilarious part of the game.
This was one game that's heavily censored.
Oh, nice dance.
Yeah,
that's a really cheap move.
What's that move called?
The Japan version, yeah.
What's that move called, Pete, that dance move?
It's like my dance move, yeah.
It's the neck shredder.
It is an actual fighting
dance move.
Yeah. Neck shredder layback. And again, like even here with a double boss fight,
a really hard
takes
double
a bit
boss
longer
fight too.
Still because they're very evasive. Yeah, but again, like once he gets his hand on he gets that bitch slap out at the right range.
He's broken basically.
It doesn't last very long compared to trying to fight them with a normal character.
Oh, normal character, Pete, takes ages for me.
Yeah, these two, yeah.
Yeah.
So it
as
seems
soon
like
as you
it's
start
taking
hitting
a
one
little
of them, the
while
other
from
one
here,
runs
but
over and just...
yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I get them in the right range for that bitch slap, there goes. Crack the hell out of one of them, and then the other one's nearly done for too. Doesn't last long once that bitch slap gets in range. So yeah, it's a bit of fun. Yeah.
Cool stage with the shark in the background,
stage.
the background aquarium and the bar there and stuff.
Just all the dancing
sort of
tomfoolery at the start as well.
The thing about him though, I can almost understand censoring him because like if it's funny, it's almost also not funny because it's like so ridiculous that it's kind of like you're making fun of them for like no reason really at some point, you know?
I think that's the funny thing about the Japanese way of looking at it though. They're so much more open-minded than we are. We get all a bit touchy-feely about the political correct stuff, whereas Japan people just don't give a damn.
Yeah,
what are you doing here, Pete? It's like a dash attack or something?
Yeah, when you got weapons, you get different attacks.
I like how lazy they were with his hand. He doesn't
blowing.
actually pick up anything. He just gets a ball on his hand when he picks up anything. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, it's interesting that
You just
weapon
like
effects are
Street
different.
Rage 1 too
Try
much.
with all the different characters.
No, that's not what it is. This one is not as good as the
This
others.
is interesting. This is an interesting level here at the start. This level branches in three directions. There's the obvious direction, the main door straight in front of me. But you'll see here I go up and hit the secret door and go through a secret passage.
Yeah, I was
There's
wondering
also another
about
one
that.
down,
If it was, I didn't know if you were actually doing that or if it was an automatic thing.
No, I chose the secret passage. You get a choice of 3 ways to go. So yeah, so it's worth checking out.
You wouldn't know
secret
it,
passages because there's an
unless
extra
you-
life.
You wouldn't know about it unless you
Well,
read.
you kind of can tell,
read
like,
about
because
it
the
pretty-
door has some little cracks in it, so you can kind of see there's something different about that spot. Yeah. Interesting thing about here, like, Shiva's like another boss character, but you can unlock him as well. And he's got this wicked infinite combo. It's what's normally a back attack for other characters. But for him, it's like he just, once he gets characters, like normal characters that can't block or anything like these, unfortunately these guys can block most of it, but normal enemies, if I get them in the
None of these characters
combo,
were
you can just
accessible in the American version, were they?
yeah, if you knew the right codes or what to do, yeah.
Oh, really?
And Pete, the code's basically,
except
correct
for
me if
Ash.
I'm wrong.
Of course, Ash can't. You can't have Ash in the American version, yeah, mate.
Oh yeah, no, Ash. That's a good point. And Ash is like awesome, but yeah, with Shiva and the kangaroo, which we'll later see.
Yeah.
It's just, correct me if I'm wrong, but you just beat the boss, and then you keep pressing. It's B for one of them, and A or C for the other one. You keep tapping it until the next stage begins, and then you somehow unlock them, and they're in the character
you hold
flex
it
screen.
down.
Or?
So for Shiva, you hold down after you beat him. You hold down B and start until the next screen comes up, and for Ash, it's hold down the A button. But anyway, here you can use a code to collect Roof right from the start of the game, but this is like the normal way to collect him, which is just to attack the trainer, the evil trainer that keeps whipping him to So you got to try not
I
to
remember
hurt the root
renting
too
this
much
game
and just try
back in the day, and figuring out some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of figure out how to collect root this way. If you were kind of like a bit of an animal rights activist, you try not to hurt the root and
Yeah,
just try and hit
that's
the
it.
other guy.
That's a good
It's
point
really
for it,
hard,
you know?
because the other guy's
Yeah,
really
he beats
like
you up
the
pretty
evil trainer.
badly.
He's really evasive. Yeah, and he keeps whipping the root, which sends the root straight after you.
And you feel sorry for the kangaroo, so you don't want to beat it up. And then you find out you can quickly beat this trainer, and then, yeah, you unlock the kangaroo.
Yeah, and then you can choose the
Moral-
kangaroo.
I
moral
remember doing
decision,
that when I
guys.
rented it.
Yeah.
In video games.
And so eventually beat the shit out of the trainer, and now I've got the root to use myself. So yeah, this is the last
Kicking
part of
butt
the
with
vid
the
where
root.
I'm just having
That is the
having
Australian
fun
version, right?
with my Vegemite powered root. Yeah.
Kicking butt.
And I
Kicking
chose
ass,
I chose this part of this level here because you've got the drop-off ledge, which is a returning element from the first game because they didn't have any drop-offs in Streets of Rage 2. But it's so fun, like just trying to kick guys off the edge, like saves a lot of work trying to beat down their whole energy bar. If you can just kick them off the edge, that's it. They plummet to their death.
Good strategy
Instantly.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
One of the other characters that you
interesting
get
thing
with this is a wallaby.
Nah, Wallaby wouldn't be big enough to handle the action, mate. Roo's the right size for fighting humans.
Yeah, Roos in real life will beat the shit out of you. Wallabies
Yeah,
won't.
just devour you with that kick.
And they actually box and stuff. Like there was one kangaroo, sorry to interrupt you, but there was one kangaroo that was in the news recently for being, it was people were paying to watch it fight people in a boxing ring. So it's
It was
pretty
winning?
sad.
Yeah, they have
But
had actual
true.
boxing kangaroos. It's not a. It's
They use their
funny
feet
thing
though,
though,
right?
like yeah, they can like poke you with their claws. Their arms are still surprisingly strong, even though they look small compared to their body. But yeah, it's a kind of
But they
rare
kick
thing
for
for a
them.
video game anyway to have a Roo as a playable character.
Yeah.
Another
Apart from Tekken.
game I can think of that
Cow the
has
kangaroo.
it is Tekken, of course.
Tekken 2,
How the
yeah.
kangaroo-
Yeah, all the kangaroos in Australia have boxing gloves and, you know, go around beating the crap out of people.
They're boxing
Well, they're
champions.
trained
golden
ninjas,
glove.
mate. That's all they do is just hang
But-
around the bush learning ninja moves all day. So yeah,
They're like raptors.
very
yeah.
dangerous animals in Australia.
What I was saying before about this game, though, that really turns me off
They
is
think
I
they're
played the
cute,
first
but-
Streets of Rage. Go ahead. Huh? Well, all I was saying was I played the first
Yeah,
Streets
you're
of
right,
Rage, and there's like a story about how they're like, you know, they're cops that are trying to like clean up the streets. And I thought that was a cool
Yeah.
idea that you're like, you know, you're like a vigilante cop, like beating up all the punks and stuff. And then I played Streets of Rage 2, and it's sort of similar, but then you get like it gets a little wacky. You're like a wrestler and like a little kid on skates. And then this one just gets so
Predator
crazy.
con-
Like you're a
boss.
kangaroo. It's just like I feel like they totally lost the whole idea of the game series, and they just started just doing whatever.
Well, I love it because
Well, if you
there's not
stuck-
many games where I can
if
be
you stuck
the
Japanese-
national emblem.
But see, if
Well,
you stayed
Paris
with
trained
the Japanese, if you stayed with the Japanese versions, the bare knuckle games, the whole bare knuckle 1, 2, and 3, would it make sense then?
Well,
If you know what I
One
mean?
and two
like
are
I said,
pretty
in
similar
the
to the
Japanese
American one, aren't
version, there is a proper story. It's just that they screwed over the story for the rest of the world, as you can tell, like because the intro got removed and all that. So yeah, it's a completely different story in the Japan version.
I love this bit
1 and
here.
2
he
are
just
pretty much
falls
the
off.
same, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
fell
that's
off.
it for Streets of Rage 3.